Right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 Alberta Optimist Under-18 Provincial Championships. This is the gold medal match between Team Alena Yurko and Team Abby Desormeau. My name is Stephen Leong, and I'm joined this afternoon by Rhett Mallioux and Caleb Hofstra. How are you two doing this afternoon?
Good yourself?
I'm doing really well, thank you.
I'm doing really well, and I'm excited for this game. I think we're going to have a nice, close one here. Both teams have done pretty good all week, and I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, it looks like both teams have been curling really well to make it to the final here. Both teams will get the chance to represent Alberta in nationals in Saskatoon, I believe. Just whether which team will be Alberta number one and which team will be Alberta number two. As our first stone of the game is underway from Team Yurko. So as this game is getting underway, guys, what is your guys' mindset if you were to be both of these teams in a provincial final, knowing that the stakes are pretty high?
I think you're going to want to have some fun out there knowing that you are going to be either Alberta 1 or 2. Although you do want to be Alberta number 1, you're going to want to play it pretty clean and aggressively.
Yeah, no, I agree with Caleb there. Your first couple ends, you're going to want to keep it a little simpler until you kind of have those nerves die down a little bit. There is a little comfort knowing, like he said, you're going for Alberta 1, Alberta 2, but just relax, get into the groove, and both these teams have been playing all week and should have a pretty good idea of the ice. So just to get themselves comfortable, and we should see some action happening sooner or later.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just going to go over both teams here. We'll start with Team Alena Yurko, who are throwing the Red Stones this afternoon. They hail from the North Hill Curling Club and Crestwood Curling Club in Edmonton. We have Skip Alena Yurko, third Reese Morrison, second Abigail Melky, and lead Kendra Koch. And we have Team Abby Desormeau, who are throwing the Yellowstones this afternoon. They come from the Beaumont and Red Deer curling clubs. We have Skip Abby Desormeau, third Julia Kennedy, second Molly Whitbread, lead Savannah Dutka, and their alternate Cameron Adams.
So appearing it's going to be a pretty clean end here to start.
Yeah, is this something that you guys would be playing here in a provincial final, just keeping it wide open, getting used to the pass of the hits? Because as you know, with the pregame practice, usually all the practice shots are draws towards the center. You're not really practicing any hits in that pregame practice.
Yeah, you definitely want to get a feel for that ice. And that one just slides past.
So early mistake here from Team Desormeau, meaning that Team Yurko can sit two early in the first end here without the hammer.
Yeah, if this is made good, it gives Team Yurko a little bit of an advantage. They're going towards a force on Team Desormeau, which for the first end, I would say is a pretty good outcome.
Yeah, so if your team is Desormeau, you know coming into the finals that you do have the hammer being the higher seed going into the finals here. Before the game, what do you think the strategy would be going into the game? Like, are you looking to always score with hammer in the even ends? Are you looking to capitalize on any errors and try to score two that way? What would be your plan going in, would you say?
Well, both these teams being as good as they are, you want to make sure that you're not taking anything for advantage. You wanna have, like you said, the hammer in the evens and try and give yourself the best shot you can. But for the most part, this is an important game. You want to keep nerves down. So I think you're just gonna take out one rock at a time and just trust your instincts.
Yeah, I agree with Rhett there.
We see the intern attempt here, and it looks like they will get rid of the yellow, avoid the jam, but they will roll their shooter out. So it is still Team Yurko sitting shot stone back of the four, but it looks like the blank will be back on the table here for Team Desormeau.
Yeah, Yurko would have liked to keep that around to keep the force alive, but you know what? A blank in the first end isn't the end of the world. You have seven other ends after that to get some points going. So I think both teams are happy right now.
As we see the intern hit attempt here, and it looks like it will curl up to nose. So it is Team Desormeau sitting on the tee line, shot stone right now, late in the first end of play. When you guys are playing an open end like this, knowing that what the shot is, it's going to be a wide open takeout. What sort of weight would you guys be throwing here, and what's being communicated between the thrower and the sweepers in the hack before the delivery of the stone?
You're gonna want to throw probably like 10 seconds in 9.5 in that range. Gives your skip a good idea of what the ice is doing and how it's moving. And it also allows you to control that rock if you need to curl.
Yeah, I agree with Caleb a little bit there. I know our team in particular would throw a little bit less weight, maybe closer to a 10 or an 11, but it's the same concept, trying to let your skip see the way the rock's running. And you know what? It's some nice, easy shots to get you settled in, and um, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it comes down to each team and their weight selections. I know for myself, I like throwing that easy weight, control weight, I guess, depending on how you each team's terminology goes. That's usually 10 or a 10.5 second
Yeah.
weight. Just let the sweepers control the rock a little bit, but also give the skip an idea of what that path will do on that particular hit as well.
With the house being clear, it kind of lets Alena get a good feel for draw weight here. It's one of those things as you're playing a clean end like this, you like to stick around to make sure your opponents are still hitting, but Alena's going to take that chance to put that T-line weight in her pocket and get a feel for that part of the ice.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to be able to have draw weight early in the game, especially if you need it later on in the game or need to make a pressure shot in later parts of the ends for sure. As we see the delivery, intern delivery here from Skip, Abby, Desormeau. It does look like she'll make that red disappear, and she will roll over to back edge of the 12 foot. It will be an out turn hit. looks like, for Team Yurko here in the first end. Looking to make the yellow disappear, but maybe looking to roll to a spot to make that blank opportunity a little bit more difficult for Team Desormeau.
Yeah, if I'm Team Yurko here, I want to make sure I'm sticking around to force Team Desormeau to work for their blank. But you also, if you have the chance to give it in a little different spot, and you might get a miss, um, if you can roll it to a fresher area.
Yeah, for sure. The main goal is just to get rid of that yellow for sure. And
Yeah.
if you can roll, like you mentioned, to a different spot, that's a little bit of a bonus as well.
Yeah. And it will roll away.
Well, the blank will be on the table here for Team Desormeau. Looks like they're just going to throw it through the house. Try to learn a new path as well.
Yeah.
Usually, when you have a wide open like throw through here, you just don't want to throw it through. You want to be trying to learn as much about the ice as you can because it might be important later down in the game. Maybe trying to remember. I did throw down this path, and I do know how it curls or if it's going to run a little bit straighter. So
Yeah.
definitely, every shot is important, even if it is throw through the house.
Yeah.
So we do have the blank here in the first end of play. So Team Desormeau will retain hammer in a tireless game going into the second end of play, and we'll be back after a few short messages.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Curling Alberta's 50/50 supports grassroots curling with a jackpot of at least $100,000. I know! Brace yourself! Join us aged 18 plus in nurturing these future curling stars. Support grassroots curling with Curling Alberta.
All right, welcome back to the 2025 Alberta Optimist Under-18 Provincial Championships held here at the Leduc Curling Club in Leduc, Alberta. My name is Stephen Leong, and I'm joined this afternoon by Rhett Mallioux and Caleb Hofstra. It's all pretty open end, and it is a blank for Team Desormeau, so they will have the hammer in the second end playing the yellow stone.
With that first center guard coming up, we can see that these teams are confident and ready to go. Like I said last time, they've played for the week, and for the most part, they know the ice and the sheets, and they also have the advantage of picking stones for this final game. So lots of confidence coming into this final.
Yeah, for sure. It does look like they want to maybe junk it up a little bit more now. Looks like Desormeau wanting to get there too, but Yurko also looking either for a force or a steal here in the second end of play. A little bit surprised though from Team Desormeau that they didn't put up corner guard here. But with that red being a center guard, maybe they feel that they can maybe delay and put one in first, beat them in, and then maybe put up a delayed corner guard on their second shot at the end.
It was a really good draw by Savannah Duca.
You know, I was a little surprised too without the corner, but you know, I find that a lot of teams now with the 5 guard rule and a lot of the plays coming to the center. I know a lot of teams prefer to come under that center guard just to kind of beat the other team there. So I think it comes down to just preferences of teams, and you know what? They all have their own way to play, and it's one of the fun things about curling. There's not one and only right shot. There's a bunch of different shots you can play.
You're absolutely right. And again, it comes down to the team's preference and what style of play they prefer. Some teams like to be a little bit more aggressive, where some teams like to play a little more defensive. So it is up to each team's style of play. And I'm sure these teams have played each other a lot through the Alberta Junior Curling Tour this season. So they know the styles of play from each team and each player's strengths as well. So I know that's definitely in their head as well, deciding on how to play each end, each shot. And that red rock will just clip that top 12 red stone and will sail by everything. So it is still Team Desormeau sitting on the button, shot stone with the hammer here early in the second end of play.
A little bit of the update for the final over on the boys side. The Lushak team is forced to 1 after end number 1, and they're just starting off on their second end.
That game is also on our Curling Stadium Leduc YouTube page and on Curling Zone, so feel free to check that game out as well.
This rock looking a little hot. Slide to the back 12, so.
It looks like Team Desormeau is sitting first and third shot here, but a good opportunity here for Team Yurko to lock one on that yellow rock and shrink the scoring area for Team Desormeau here in the second end. So it looks like that rock does chap off the yellow. So it is still Team Desormeau sitting shot stone, and Team Desormeau can ignore that red stone there and maybe draw one on top of their own yellow and sit 2 here.
Yeah, with Yurko chapping off there, it gives Desormeau a little bit of a margin for error because they could use that redstone as a catcher. So it's gonna keep it a little tricky for Alena to be able to try and score or steal or even force the one.
It looks like this rock is... Sorry, yeah, it looks like it's a little up, I think. And I'm sure you both know, of course, like you want to be able to make every shot that's called, but you also need to know in the back of your mind the pro side miss. And I think for that shot, your pro side miss was to be a little bit lighter and not be heavy, because now there is a big pocket here for Team Yurko to draw down to, as we do see a timeout here. Coach interaction for Team Yurko, that is Coach Glenn Ector. So what would you guys be playing here? What do you think? Or what do you think that Coach Glenn Ector there is discussing with the team?
I think try to get into that, try to freeze on top of those 2 yellows and sit the button. It's really hard to get rid of your rock that way. Desormeau has they don't really have much to do after that. If you can sit right on the button, you're pretty much locked in for a possible stolen point.
I'm kind of with Caleb there. Even if you give it a little bit of a nudge, it's still a catcher, and it's going to be hard for Team Desormeau to get in there for a point or to score a multiple.
Yeah, for sure. And I know it's a little bit scary seeing that yellow is sitting two. But if you do end up blocking one in there, it would take two shots for Team Desormeau to get that red out of there. As we see the delivery of a stone run a little bit hot and will end up tapping the red all the way to the back 12. So it's still Team Desormeau sitting the two back edge of the button. And it looks like they will try themselves to lock one in that pocket. Or even if they come up a little bit late, as I just mentioned before, the pro side miss, so maybe to come up, maybe top 8, top 12, block that draw path for Team Yurko to get in there.
Yeah, the miss is definitely light here. Just a tight guard is perfect for you if you're Desormeau.
I think both teams are getting a little caught up here in their space. It is going to get quicker and quicker with every.
That's a great shot there, nonetheless, by Team Desormeau. So they are sitting three all around the button right now with the hammer in the second end. And it looks like Team Yurko here is opting for a normal weight hit is look like to be the call. Try to get rid of at least two yellow if you can, but if not, be able to sit on top of that yellow in front and make your rock usable for your skips first or even last stone at the end.
Like this one's going to take off a little bit on them. A little more curl than they were expecting.
Yeah, a little bit of a miss there. You would have loved to just get rid of even one of the yellows, even if your shooter had rolled out there. Just get rid of one of those yellows, because now Team Desormeau can really put the pressure on Team Yurko here, as Team Yurko only has two stones left to go in this end.
You know, like you said, a great opportunity for Team Desormeau to put a little bit of pressure on. And it's going to be hard for Yurko to get in there to cut down the points.
It does look like Team Desormeau is sitting for with the hammer here in the second end of play. Would you guys have been drawing to that yellow, or would you guys have played maybe the guard, a tight guard there?
The aggressive call would be to draw on top of that yellow with Desormeau, but I think definitely a guard would have been my call.
I think either call works out for you. I'd probably lean towards drawing in there just to put that extra pressure on to the Yurko team. It's hard to get a lot of rocks moving here. You can see Alena's throwing quite a bit of weight to try and get him going, but
we're definitely going to see some action here in the house. And they will get rid of a yellow and spin the other yellow into the 8-foot. So it is Team Desormeau only sitting shot rock now, but they are sitting third and fourth shot. As we can see on the replay here, a lot of weight, a lot of rotation here.
Yeah.
Trying to get those rocks to get off the 4-foot, off the button.
Yeah.
And mission accomplished. And I think that's probably the best that you could have done there with the way those yellow rocks were lined up there for Team Desormeau. As we see a timeout here being called by Team Desormeau, and that is Coach Glenn Kennedy. So with Team Desormeau only seeing shot stone, the option is you could hit the red stone in the 4-foot there, but that does leave Team Yurko a draw on top of that yellow, and that would shrink the scoring area down. I'd almost be tempted here to maybe lob one on top of your yellow first. And then if you have the opportunity to hit that red out, you could score multiple here in the second end. What do you guys like here on Abby Desormeau's first shot here in the second end?
I like hitting and rolling to either the center or away a little bit, leaving a chance to score a couple points here.
Yeah, I'm with Caleb there as well. Just kind of make sure that you want to get this red out of the way. Your main goal, I think here is to hit that red, but a little roll would be ideal too. With those yellows that were just spread out, if you can get a roll towards the center, it makes it hard to remove a lot of yellow on Alena's next shot.
We'll find out here with Abby Desormeau's first stone of the second end. It does look like she will overcurl a little bit, but she does stick around, and Team Desormeau appears to be sitting 4 for sure. It's hard to tell in the back who's sitting shot over the other, but definitely for Team Desormeau, and the pressure on for Team Yurko, looking like they're going to need to freeze into the back yellow stone sitting back edge of the button here.
Yeah, it opens the door up for Alena here to get a rock in there and to kind of protect herself from getting a big end scored on her. She still does have to make the shot, but it's something in a final that you don't want to give your opponent these chances, because more than likely they're gonna take them and run.
Yeah, for sure. With shots like these, I'm sure the sweepers know, and as a thrower, you're always thinking in the back of your mind that I do have backing. I can always come down to the backing. But is that something you should really be thinking about if you're the thrower or even the sweepers?
Well, honestly, a little bit of a rub and roll off that left yellow there wouldn't be terrible for Alena if she is up. I wouldn't try to think about it while you're throwing. That does apply a lot of pressure to you.
This one's gonna hang a little bit, being up and wait, but there it comes as Kendra's curling it over.
That's a good shot.
And that's a really good shot there. A really good team shot there by Team Alena Yurko on her final stone. Really hard to tell who is shot stone right now around the button. It does appear that Team Desormeau is sitting the 1 still, but it is a tough red to remove without jamming on that back 8 stone there, as we see near the co-op sign on just to the right of it.
There's a couple different options here. I do like what Abby Desormeau is calling here, because even if you do catch a little bit of the yellow sitting in the back button there, you're probably rolling off and you have enough of your own around the forefoot. You should be able to get a multiple score here. They just have to make sure that it's not going to hang out too wide and jam.
Give up 1.
For sure. So this is the final stone of the second end. It appears that Team Desormeau is sitting shot stone back edge of the button, but a big opportunity, or maybe a 3 or 4 count here for Team Desormeau.
Starting to move a little bit on Abby here.
And it does overcurl on the red guard. Don't know who scored there. They kicked off the rocks pretty quickly. My assumption was it was yellow, but we will find out when we get back from commercial break.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
And welcome back to the 2025 Alberta Optimist U18 Provincial Championships held inside Leduc Recreation Center at the Leduc Curling Club. My name is Stephen Leong, and I'm joined by Rhett Mallioux and Caleb Hofstra. It does look like Team Desormeau scored their single point in the second end, so it is Team Desormeau up 1-0, but Team Yurko does have the hammer, playing the Redstones in the third end of play.
I'm expecting to see a little bit of a cleaner end here. Both teams were kind of caught with a lot of rocks in play by the last end. So you might see them bailing a little sooner than they would. But again, it's up to each team. Everyone plays their own way, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, for sure. So you see the first stone from Team Desormeau is just off the center line, center guard. We do have the no-tick center line rule in effect here for these under-18 provincial championships. So it does make things a little bit more difficult with those come-arounds, especially with how the ice looks, and being that it is curling a lot this week, teams do have to be mindful of that if rocks are touching a center line early in the end.
Very nice draw there to sit under the guard. Again, coming under the center guard instead of a corner.
If your team, if your team Desormeau here, and look like you're going to be scoring at least a 2, maybe even a 3, possibly even a 4. Looked like the big end was brewing. You only get forced to 1 here. How would you be feeling after that, and what do you think your mindset is going into this third end of play?
Well, you're a little disappointed because you had a really good end brewing, but you also have to look at the positives. You're 1 up, and you didn't give away a steal there, so you just kind of got to go into your next end and focus on how you're going to play it out. I'm sure in their little team meeting that they would have talked about their first couple of shots, and like I always like to tell the juniors I work with, it's 1 shot at a time.
Yeah, I agree with Rhett. I think they definitely would have been a little disappointed that they could have got almost 5 there. But, I mean, you almost got 5. That's still a really good outcome. So go for try to go for a steal this end, and otherwise force them to 1 and get your hammer back in the 4th.
Yeah, for sure. I think maybe a little bit hard to get, or it'd be pretty easy to get a little bit discouraged, right? Especially seeing that you could have scored a big end. But I think for Team Desormeau's sake, they played a really well end. There's just that last shot there, just happened to overkill on that guard. But I do think, you mentioned, if they can force Yurko here and get that hammer back in the 4th end, they can try again to score multiple score. As we see the hit attempt, over curl and rack on their own center guard. So it is still Team Yurko sitting 2, 1 in the top 4, 1 in the back 4.
Ice is definitely looking like it's moving quite a bit towards that center line.
Looks like out-turn attempt. I didn't see the call. I don't know if you guys saw the call. I don't know if they were trying to go in or try to guard. They are sweeping it a lot, which
they're
makes
trying
me
to
think
make
that they were to come in.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to make an angle onto the Yellowstone there to kind of use it as a guard inside the rings, but I think it might have just over curled the hair on them.
And we do have a timeout here from Team Desormeau. That is Coach Glenn Kennedy. And that last name might sound familiar to many people. His brother happens to be none other than Mark Kennedy, who's won Olympic gold medal in Vancouver, multiple Briars, and currently curling with Team Brad Jacobs.
Glenn, too, has made quite a few appearances with Northwest Territories.
He's definitely a coach that brings a lot of knowledge to this Desormeau team, and someone I think any team would be happy sitting behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been lucky enough to been coached through the junior program here at my home club, so I definitely know the experience that he brings, and I know those girls are very lucky to have Glenn as a coach for sure. As we see the O-turn attempt on the back four stone over curl, they'll end up actually picking out their own yellow stone. So it is now Team Yurko all of a sudden sitting free with the hammer here in the third end of play.
Unfortunate break for them.
Yeah, after a couple over curls, I'm sure Abby's going to maybe think now to give the little extra ice.
Yeah, it's hard on those ones too. As a thrower, maybe you think on your next one you want to overthrow it, maybe throw a little bit more rotation, but that's something that the thrower and the skip need to communicate, because what you see a lot of is maybe the skip will open up the room a little bit more, but then that thrower will end up throwing maybe a second too much, or maybe we'll throw that little bit more rotation, so it'll run a little bit straighter than what the skip may think. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, especially if your team is Desormeau here with all the overcurls on the hits.
Didn't see the call, but I'm assuming Abby's going to try and get rid of a few of these reds.
Yeah, looks like they're playing the in-turn here. I'm surprised they're not playing the out-turn, because they have been playing that out-turn down the center line, so they are changing turns here. As it looks like it will just catch that top red stone. Avoids the jam on the yellow on the side there. But it is Team Yurko sitting 3 stones all around the forefoot with the hammer here in the third end.
I'm with you. I'm a little confused at the turn they would have called, but they got rid of one, which is still a good thing. And of course, they would have liked to get rid of more, but just trying to cut down the Yurko stones.
It does look like Team Yurko is asking to get the rock into that pocket almost. I almost be tempted to maybe throw up a tight guard rather than throw one in the rings, because you know that Team Desormeau will be hitting no matter what. As we see, that rock does nestle into that pocket, but it does make it easier for Team Desormeau to get rid of at least 2 rocks here, where if that rock was maybe a tight center guard there, it'd be harder to get rid of a couple stones.
I agree with you. I definitely think that's in a bit of a dangerous spot for Team Yurko. Still sitting 4.
As we see the intern peel attempt down the center come, they will just get rid of 1 stone, pushes that other red just out into the 8-foot, but it is still Team Yurko sitting 3 here in the third end of play, getting down almost to the skip stones here, last of the third stones in the third end.
a little bit of a late update, but an update from the men's final. Austin Henning and his team scored 2 in the second end, leaving the score 2-1 Henning. So at some point here, Abby and Team Desormeau are going to have to look and decide if they want to keep hitting or if they want to change gears and try to get one in there. They have to remember they don't have hammers, so they want to. Looks like Abby wants to just nestle in here, which wouldn't be horrible, but you want to make sure that this shot is made, or it could be a lot of red for Yurko.
What would you do, Rhett?
Being the team I play with, we would probably still be trying to do a little bit of damage control. We're very confident in our hitting ability. So we'd be playing to get a double or maybe get 3, but this is what Team Desormeau's confident with. I like the call.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. I think I would also be playing the double here, as we see on the right side of the sheet. I think if you can make a double on this first one, and no matter where Yurko puts her first one, you're always going to have a double of some sort, meaning that at worst, Team Yurko will be getting a 2. If you don't make this perfectly, this is what brings the potential of a 3 or maybe 4 spot. So, but if this is what they're comfortable with, then I think you let them play the shot for sure.
Bring a lot of weight.
And they will get rid of the 1 stone. Their shooter will sit in the 8-foot. So they are sitting 3rd shot right now, but it looks like Team Yurko is still sitting 2 back 4-foot. As we look at the replay here, looked like it was running a little bit straight, and then near the hog line, looked like it was starting to curl quite a bit there. Doesn't make the double, but that yellow isn't in a bad spot for Team Desormeau here. Definitely a tappable rock for them if they decide to use it. Who would you guys be playing here if you're Team Alena Yurko here? Sitting 2 right now with 2 to come.
You want to apply a little bit of pressure to Team Desormeau. They've been kind of missing a little bit of the wrong way on their hits. Putting it top 4, out counting that left yellow.
I'm with Caleb as well. You want to put pressure on here. You've seen a couple misses out of the team, so this is when you want to take your shot, and that one's going to come a little bit deep, which isn't ideal, but
gives Desormeau a chance to freeze.
Yeah, it does look like the pinhole is available for Team Desormeau here. Do you guys like playing this out-turn draw to the pin, or would you guys be tempted to maybe tap up that yellow as we see on the left side of the screen here?
I would most likely play this shot that Abby has called. You have a little bit of room. You can bump, if you're a little bit up, you can bump that red back a little bit and still be frozen. So it's a good call.
Also, like we've said earlier, during that 9-minute practice before the game, a lot of teams are throwing to the middle, so they have a lot of confidence in what this is going to do. And throughout the game, they would have been talking about speed. So I like the draw call as well.
We'll find out here. This is Team Desormeau's last stone here in the 3rd end. Team Yurko is sitting 3, however. It does look like the stone is looking really good. If they can get by that top 12 stone, they do. And just a little bit heavy. They do end up chapping off and rolling open. So currently it is Team Yurko sitting shot stone back edge of the button, but an opportunity here for Team Yurko for the open hit and score potential 4 here in the third end of play.
Just a little bit heavy on Abby's last there. Gives Alena a really good look at a good 4 here. Still a lot of pressure on her last.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to be wide here. The tolerance is to be a little bit narrow, and because anything wide, you're jamming and only getting potential 2. As we see the final stone here delivered in the third end of play by Alena Yurko. Sitting 1 already, looking for a potential 4 spot here in the third end. And that shot is made to perfection. Team Alena Yurko will score big 4 in the third end of play. Score is now 4-1, going into the fourth end of play.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
So you're a pizza person, but you're married to a wing person, and your kids are salad people? You can't pick your fam, but with over 50 menu items to choose from, you can make them all happy. Order today and enjoy Boston Pizza at home.
Welcome back to the 2025 Alberta Optimist U18 Provincial Championships held at the Leduc Curling Club in Leduc, Alberta. My name is Steve Leong, and I'm joined by Rhett, Mallioux and Caleb Hofstra. So we just saw in the third end of play, Team Alena Yurko scoring a big 4-ender in the third end to take a 4-1 lead. If your team Desormeau, as we were watching the second end, you had a chance yourself to maybe get a 4. Get forced to 1, and then you see Team Yurko score a 4 spot on you. What is your mindset going into this end, and maybe what was talked or what was being said in that little huddle after that end?
Well, you want to make sure you're keeping your morale up. It's still early enough in the game that you have some time to get back, but you are going to have to put a little bit of pressure on the gas pedal and try to go for multiple score. And it just has to you have to remind each other, keep the communication up, keep the focus down, and the game's not over until it's over. So
even a deuce here for Team Desormeau, you're down 1 going after the fourth end. You know, you still have 4 more ends to play after this end. So I think Desormeau is really looking to try to get a deuce on the board here.
Yeah, absolutely, and it does look like they're going hard for the deuce. They did end up throwing that corner guard, and it looks like they will be trying to go behind it here on their second shot.
And in the other token, Yurko has to also, they have to keep up the focus. They can't get too comfortable because you might be 3 up right now, but at a provincial, anything can happen. So they have to keep the pressure on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see, that one does come to rest a little bit high, but what it does do is it does create a double corner guard here for Team Desormeau, so lots to work with for them.
Looking for the tap back here.
Yeah, it looks like they kind of want to change the angles. Sorry, it looks like they kind of want to change the angles because it is, even though it is your own 2 redstones, it is a stagger that Team Desormeau can loop around later on in the end, as we do see that redstone sail through the house. So there's still Team Yurko sitting 2, top 12 foot, and it looks like Team Desormeau will try to wrap around their double corner guards here. So this one looks like it will get by the guards. It's just a question of will it sit in time in the house. As Alena is sweeping it through, and it will be a little bit too heavy. So maybe not the right way to miss that shot. You're much better to be light, even if you were a guard there in that shot. Now Team Yurko has an opportunity to peel that tight center or tight corner guard and essentially get rid of that corner guard, because we've seen with the ice it curls so much that that high corner guard essentially isn't in play.
That's a good shot.
Kind of opened with both teams throwing through. They kind of opened up a door for each other, but now it looks like we're just going to try and loop one under the corner and keep maybe a multiple score alive.
Yeah, I wonder on your guys' opinion here if you would be tempted to almost play a hit off those reds and maybe roll under the corner yourself, or if you guys do like this out-turn draw. Even being that they have thrown down the same path a couple times now.
It depends how you want to play it. If you want to be a little safer, the little bit of the hit and roll isn't a bad call. But as you said, they've already seen this path, so if they're confident with the draw, it's probably what I would go for.
It looks like they do make the draw.
At some point, you are going to want to open up that 4-foot scoring area. So a hit and roll for them wouldn't be terrible.
So that stone does come to rest in the back 8. So it is Team Desormeau sitting shot stone right now, as it looks like Team Yurko will be attempting to peel the other corner guard here. And they will peel it successfully, no problem there. So the front is all wide open, no guards in play now, as Team Desormeau will look to replace that corner guard there and protect shot stone that is sitting back of the 8. As it looks like we will have a timeout here, coach interaction timeout by Team Desormeau. That once again is Coach Glenn Kennedy chatting with Desormeau.
While this timeout is going on, it gives me a chance to give an update on the men's draw again. It looks like Leduc has just scored 2 in the 3rd. They'll bring their score to 3-2, Leduc on the men's draw.
A reminder that both girls teams in this game and both boys teams in the other game, all 4 of them will be going to Saskatoon for the 2025 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships that is being held at the Nutana Curling Club from February 16th to 22nd.
Trying to draw around those 2 top reds that are doesn't have the weight for that.
Would have been nice to keep to bounce off that Yellowstone to keep it usable, but right now all those staggered rocks at the front are kind of acting as almost a guard. I think Alena's going to play it safe and maybe try to get rid of some of the yellow.
Yeah, so if they can stick around here, they will be sitting 3, which would be really good. Your Team Yurko fan. If they end up rolling out, Team Desormeau might have a chance to make a double on those reds and sit 2 themselves.
Hit and roll out. Still a good shot, as you're still sitting 2.
So it looks like they are electing to draw around top 12 stones, as they are all sort of staggered right now and not easy to remove if they can bury perfectly around them.
Being a little up.
Draws have been catching both teams this end, so they might have to take a note for the last few stones and for the next ends that paths are starting to speed up, and they also have to remind themselves that they can give it to their sweepers.
Yeah, so it looks like they're going to be trying to draw around the staggers. I'm wondering from you guys, both Rhett and Caleb, if you would be tempted to hit that top 12 yellow. I know that you're sitting 2 right now, but should you not make this draw at all, it does give an opportunity for Team Desormeau to maybe make a play on those 2 reds and potentially sit 2.
Hitting the yellow wouldn't be a bad call. The only thing you have to watch out is where your shooter's going to go, because if it flops a little bit either way, it could almost act as a guard for Team Desormeau. As I believe the 2 reds in the rings right now are staggered. The other thing you could do is try to hit it maybe a little bit on the high side to get the yellow to go and the reds to spread out a little bit, but both calls, the draw and the hits, I think, have their pros and cons.
Yeah, I agree with Rhett there. It'll just sit on the T line. That's a good shot. It does give Desormeau a chance to come down to it or freeze. And even hit and roll under.
Yeah, I almost be tempted to play maybe like a back 8 sort of weight. I think at this point, if your team is Desormeau, you're probably not going to be counting that top 12 yellow anymore and just playing the end. So I think trying to get a skip deuce is what you're looking for here. So if you're able to play a back 8 weight, sort of flop underneath that stagger there, it'll be hard to remove for Alena Yurko.
I have to agree with you there. I really like a back 8 or even a back 4 weight here. Rocks behind your own are almost as important as rocks in front. There's a lot of times where teams can be caught by catchers in the back, and if you're looking to score, the more rocks in play, the better.
It's looking a little tight. It's not a bad outcome.
Yeah, so it does. They do end up wrecking on their own yellow. So it is Team Yurko still sitting 2, but what it does is it does open up both sides a little bit in a way. It looked like Yurko was calling for the hit on that top 12 stone, but a timeout has been called by Coach Glenn Ector. With them sitting 2 here, I'm almost tempted to ignore that top 12 yellow and maybe get one behind that yellow, sort of in front, maybe top 4, biting top 4 here.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, it doesn't appear that there is an easy double right now for team Desormeau, with Yurko sitting first and second shot. And again, if they can loop one around, it will make for a challenging last shot here of the fourth end for Team Desormeau. So it does look like Coach Glenn Ector talked them into playing the intern draw behind that yellow, sort of Christmas tree as we curlers like to call it, and make that run back pretty tough as well. We do see the final stone here for Team Yurko. Team Desormeau does have the hammer here. Team Yurko is playing the red stones and Team Desormeau playing the yellow stones. So it does look like they come up a little bit light, but they will end up guarding that yellow and guarding most of the shot stone in the 4-foot there. But it does look like it is exposed a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if they play like maybe a back 8, maybe back 4 weight chaser. You don't need to move it too far if your team is normal here. So you don't want to get caught overthrowing it.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to throw too much weight here, especially as you could give up a multiple. I like just back 4.
Yeah, and it's the same shot they tried to play the shot before. So it's the same path for the most part, maybe a little bit more wider, but it should act the same here. So they should have a good feel on what it will do here. As we see the final stone in the 4th end, Team Desormeau down by 3 with the hammer, looking to score their single. And that rock will just get by the red guard there, and they will push out the red. And it looks like they will stick around. It will be 1 for Team Desormeau. That was a great team shot there. So the score after 4 ends of play is Team Yurko 4, Team Desormeau 2. Team Yurko will have the hammer as we come back from our 4th end break.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Phelps. What do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Curling Alberta's 50-50 supports grassroots curling with a jackpot of at least $100,000. I know! Brace yourself. Join us aged 18 plus in nurturing these future curling stars. Support grassroots curling with Curling Alberta.
Welcome back to the 2025 Alberta Optimist Under-18 Provincial Championships. My name is Stephen Leong, and I'm joined this afternoon by Rhett Mallioux and Caleb Hofstra. So, as we're in the middle of our fourth on break, the score is Team Alena Yurko 4 and Team Abby Desormeau 2, with Team Yurko having the hammer. Just wanted your guys' insights here. If you're both teams, let's start with Team Yurko. You're up 2 and you have the hammer. What are you guys discussing as a team in the fourth end break here?
You know what? You're up 2. You have hammer. You have a little bit of a cushion here, and you're in control of the game. You want to make sure that you're keeping up your focus, and you have to recognize that Desormeau's going to try and come and catch up. So you can't let the pressure down, but they're probably also talking a little bit about the ice, because as we've seen for both teams, they were getting caught with speeds and a little bit of line. The ice looked like they were missing it a little heavy and a little wide. So I think that's a big factor that they're going to be talking about here in the fourth end.
Yeah, you definitely want to stay confident. You're halfway through this game in the provincial final, and you know you want to stay confident in yourselves. You're doing great so far, and you know, just don't want to get in your heads too much. Try to get a deuce here this end, or even a blank, and keep that hammer efficiency.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they're discussing here. They don't want to get too complacent, and obviously that's pretty easy to do here, being that you're up 2, you're playing really well. There's only 4 ends left to play, but 4 ends is a lot of time for Team Desormeau to catch up here. And then if you're Team Desormeau, you're down 2, you don't have the hammer, but it does seem like they are playing pretty well still. And again, it's only a 2-point lead for Team Yurko, so if they can get a steal here in the fifth end, they're going to be right back in this game here in the provincial final. So both these teams ended the round robin with 5-2 records. Team Abby Desormeau started off the week with a win 7-1 over Kieran Roa before losing 6-4 to Sierra Wyatt, and they ended up racking up 4 straight wins: 6-4 against Darby McMillan, 7-3 against Alena Yurko, 8-5 over Shobin Mickerson, and 7-6 over Emma de Skiffert before losing 4-3 over Lila Cooey. So they did end up going and making into the page 1 versus 2 game, where they ended up winning against Lila Cooey 8-6 to make it to this championship final. While Team Alena Yurko, also with a 5-2 record after round robin play, with they started off with 3 straight wins: 12-6 over Sierra Wyatt, 10-2 over Kieran Roa, and 6-3 over Shoban McPherson, before losing 7-3 over Abby Desormeau. They bounced back nicely with a 9-1 win over Darby McMillan, and then they end up losing 9-5 over Lila Cooey before coming back with a 7-2 win over Emma de Skiffert. So they ended up making it into the 3 versus 4 page playoff game, where they did end up beating Emma de Skiffert last night 5-3. And then this morning they played in the semifinals against Lila Cooey, winning 9-2. And so that's how they are here in the championship final. As we see the fifth end of play getting underway here, Team Desormeau throwing. It looks like the center line guard was the call, over curled a little bit. And it looks like Team Desormeau is electing to draw into the house, and they will get under that yellow stone, uh, right on the tee line there. Just sliding a little bit behind the tee line, but it is dead buried around that yellow. So it is Team Yurko sitting one early here in the fifth end of play. Looks like Team Desormeau here opting for a center line guard. They are trying hard to get it over the hog line. It looks like they will successfully do so. And it will be, looks like the rock will stop on the center line. So that rock cannot be ticked off the center here. So very good shot there by Team Desormeau, getting that center line guard up. As we see the out-turn delivery here. Looks like they're wanting to get right behind that center line yellow and really apply the pressure to Team Desormeau early here in the fifth end of play, up to with the hammer. This one, they are using that knifing technique, which we have seen a lot in the last couple years. As it will curl up beautifully, top edge of the button, over buried, as Team Yurko is sitting two here, coming into the middle part of the fifth end of play here. As I just mentioned, the knifing technique, as we've seen with sleeping now, is something that a lot of curlers are using now, especially in the under 18s and the junior levels of curlers here. It's a knifing technique. You're more knifing if you're looking to make the rock curl, but not add any weight, is the theory behind that, versus the old school technique of making a curl, where the theory behind that is you're still making a curl, but you're as we see this out-turn delivery get to the top 8. So there's still Team Yurko sitting the 2 behind cover with hammer here in the fifth end of play. And we do have one other game happening right now. It is the boys championship final between Team Glushak and Team Hennig, and it is Team Glushak up 3-2, but Team Hennig does have the hammer in the fifth end of play. That game is also on Curling Stadium Leduc and Curling Zone's YouTube page, so feel free to check that game out as well. So as we see, Team Yurko is sitting 3 currently. Looks like they're going to be trying to attempt to tap that red stone back. If you're Team Desormeau here, you kind of want to junk it up here. You're obviously looking for a steal of 1 here in the fifth end of play. So you're almost looking to freeze on that, but if you end up tapping it back a couple feet, that isn't the worst result either, because if you're Team Desormeau, you're 1.5 stones behind the tee line, 3 potential jam opportunities for your yellow to jam onto the back reds. As we see the stone come in, and it will get to full 8 foot. So it is still Team Yurko sitting the 3, but that yellow isn't in a bad position and can be used later on in the end. So lots of rocks in play, maybe something that Team Yurko didn't want to see, but it is working out for them as they are sitting the 3 around the 4 foot right now. And so it looks like the Team Yurko is opting for the guard, looking to guard up the yellow that was just thrown by Team Desormeau. Because that yellow stone, as we see on the right side of the sheet, is useful for Team Desormeau if it is still wide open. As we see the stone come in maybe a little bit deeper than they wanted to. That one will settle in on the 12 foot. So it is still Team Yurko sitting free right now all around the button and the 4 foot with the hammer here in the 5th end of play.
At this time of the end, it might be ideal for Abby to start moving around some stones and giving herself a little bit of room, as the scoring area isn't the biggest right now. A lot of red in the 4 foot area.
As Glenn Kennedy calls a timeout.
Would you guys be playing here as Glenn Kennedy's talking to Abby Desormeau here?
Well, there's a couple options. Like you could tap that red onto the yellow to move it back to sit your 1.
I think that the main idea is Desormeau wants to make that scoring area a little bigger. Right now it's dominated by those red stones, and it's going to make it hard for them to gain points. And being down without, they need some points to stay in the game.
So it looks like the out-turn attempt is coming down for Team Desormeau. And it looks like they are going to be playing that red-yellow combination. Looks like it just undercurled a little bit. They will tap that yellow stone frozen onto that red stone. So it does appear that Team Yurko is sitting 2 around the button. I do believe that Desormeau is sitting 3rd shot here. Not a bad shot there by Team Desormeau. It will be hard to remove that yellow if you're Team Yurko, as we do see a timeout called here by Coach Glenn Ector. So this end definitely getting a little bit more complicated, and I think both teams are realizing that with the back-to-back timeouts being called here.
That's a little bit of an interesting end. There's not great angles for either team. I'm thinking Yurko they're not hurting too bad because they have a lot of red in the 4 foot, but they also have to watch out that it doesn't end up hurting them, as we have 8 stones left to come.
Definitely a little messy out front. Not a lot of... There's a couple options for Desormeau, as she discusses with Glenn Kennedy too. Kind of see what her options are. What would you do, Rhett, if you're Yurko?
I still think I'm going to try and move around those reds in the 4 foot. There's not a lot of room for Desormeau, but there's also, it's kind of tricky to keep them from scoring, as they have a lot of backing with your stones. I kind of like what Alena has called here to kind of bump and roll in. It unlocks the red from the yellow and gives you a chance to maybe get rid of that yellow closer to the end of the end and set up a big score.
A little wide.
Yeah, they're trying to carve this over here and try to get into the inside of this yellow. And it does look like they will just clip the yellow and chop off their red stone there, and they will be sitting back 8. So it is Team Yurko still sitting 2. looks like Desormeau's lining up the red, yellow, red combination here. Seems like a lot of ice, though. What sort of way would you guys be playing here?
You don't need anything more than board. Board is max here.
You want to make sure you're keeping around your shooter. And if you can keep the red in the rings, that isn't going to hurt you. So I'd even play board or a little bit less. Because you're trying to steal here. You don't have hammer.
Close.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Looks like there's a great shot there by Team Desormeau. Does get rid of a red stone, and it is Team Yurko sitting shot stone on the button. But it does look like that yellow can be removed out of play, and with the way the ice curls, pretty confident that this will curl up past that center line guard and over curl a little bit to be able to punch that yellow through the hole there.
Wide again.
So this one will be wide. They will end up nosing their red stone. So it is still Team Yurko sitting shot stone, but a little bit of a mistake there by Team Yurko, looking like it was maybe overthrown a little bit, or she was a little bit wide. It's hard to tell out there. So big decision here for Team Desormeau. This is sort of the shot where you're deciding, am I looking to force Team Yurko to one here, or am I looking to steal in the fifth end of play? This shot will most likely tell what their mindset is.
I think you're gonna, if you're Abby here, you definitely probably want to tap your yellow up a bit to make sure it looks close. Who's second shot? To make sure that you are second shot. Giving up one here isn't the end of the world. That ice suggests otherwise, though.
I think Abby's big goal here is you want to set up for a steal. Being the fifth end already, I wouldn't want to give Yurko another point and to give them an extra, give them any extra of a lead. So you're just trying to set up to have the best chance you can at a steal.
Yeah, this is a little bit of an interesting call. I don't mind the guard, which it looks like they'll be calling, but just like you mentioned, Rhett, I think if I was Team Desormeau, I'd be looking hard for a steal, and it does look like you have a really good opportunity to get that steal in the fifth end and make it a one-score game.
It looks like it might over curl.
So this rock will stop just shy of the house. Actually, it will just bite the top of the 12, but it does over curl a little bit. So it is still Team Yurko sitting shot stone here on the button. It does appear that Team Desormeau is sitting second shot in the top 4 foot.
It's still a really good shot.
It is very good, but it is a lonely yellow in that 4 foot there right now. But there doesn't appear to be an easy way to get rid of that yellow anymore with where that yellow stone stopped.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it is a lonely yellow, but at least for Team Desormeau, the angles aren't favoring Team Yurko. It's going to be hard to get that yellow out of there. So Alena's going to have to try and find a way to keep Desormeau from their steal.
The overhead view, it does look like it's yellow. Just saying shot.
Second shot.
Second shot, sorry.
Oh yeah, it does look like Team Yurko is going to be guarding the right side of the sheet there, as it does appear that Team Desormeau's only shot for steal is to play that red, yellow, red combination. So it looks like they will be guarding up that red as we see the far red on the right side of the sheet.
Gotta stop. It's a good guard.
Really nice shot by Alena there.
Yeah, very interesting situation here. That rock just stopped in time, so that red, yellow, red combination that I mentioned earlier doesn't appear to be there anymore. But it doesn't appear that Team Desormeau has a way to get rid of that shot stone sitting on the button right now. I'm curious from your guys' perspective, where would you be placing the stone to maybe not leave any sort of double for Team Yurko?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation when you have lots of stones in the house like this, because like you said, you don't want to leave a double. I do want to mention that we've had a lot of rocks down the right side of the sheet as we're looking at the camera now. So throwing down this left side is going to be tricky, as you don't know the speed as well as you do the other side. So it's a little bit of a guessing game.
She might have changed her mind. What would you do?
I think I like her original call coming down to the shot red stone just to prevent Yurko from scoring a multiple. But like I said, it's one of those, it's a little bit of a higher difficulty shot being as you haven't played down this side of the sheet. So it's something that she's going to have to talk with her sweepers about, and it's going to have to be really well managed as it comes down.
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do is leave any sort of shot for Team Yurko to score more than one here, as it right now doesn't appear that that Yellowstone will be going anywhere, as there's no easy run opportunities for Team Yurko.
It appears it's coming up light.
Light isn't bad, as it takes away this side of the sheet for them to draw on, but there is this in-off that they're looking at right now. I don't think you can ever hurt yourself by trying it.
A very precise shot.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you can ever hurt yourself, because if you do slide just under that top 3 yellow, the way you hit that red, it looks like it will jam into the red right beside it. And that red stone right now will still be biting the button. So I don't think there is any harm playing the shot here. I think you have your one in your back pocket already, and if you try it for 2, and if you don't, you get your 1 and you're happy. Especially the way this end shaped up with all these rocks in play.
I think personally I would be trying this, yeah, because I agree with the both of you. You can't hurt yourself with this shot.
What do you guys think about? She's throwing a little bit less weight here. Is that something you guys like? I know just with what I'm comfortable throwing, I'd probably be throwing a little bit of a bigger weight, but there can be positives to this lighter weight. What do you guys think about that?
I don't. I think you should probably be throwing a bit more weight. This does look like a board.
And again, it just comes down to each team's preference, right?
Yeah.
As we do see the final stone of the end, and it looks like it will undercurl, as it will be a score of 1 for Team Yurko, as they just check things over. Yeah, so it is a score of 1 for Team Yurko, and they will take a 5-2 lead over Team Desormeau heading into the 6th end of play.
Handcrafted in Canada, Artline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Curling Alberta's 50-50 supports grassroots curling with a jackpot of at least $100,000. I know! Brace yourself. Join us aged 18 plus in nurturing these future curling stars. Support grassroots curling with Curling Alberta.
Welcome back to the 2025 Alberta Optimist Under-18 Provincial Championships held
Just as a little bit of an update over on the men's draw, Lushak with a score of 1 to make it 4-2.
Corner guard goes up from Team Desormeau. Definitely crucial to get at least 2 this end for sure.
Yeah, be in the 6th end if you're Desormeau. You want to make sure you're scoring a couple points here. You're starting to run out of ends, so blanks or even a score of 1 wouldn't be ideal.
The game isn't fully ran away on them quite yet. They're only down 3. Looking to come around their card here. For Team Desormeau. Just come up a little light. So Rhett, you're Yurko this end. Well, what are you gonna try to do?
You know, if I'm Yurko here, I'm gonna try and keep it simple. I don't want to give Desormeau a lot of chance to come back to this game, so I'd probably try to keep it open. I don't like guards, and as soon as I can, I'd probably start peeling for them. Even though you don't have hammer, the more guards and the more stones in play, the better chance that Desormeau has to catch up.
A little bit heavy here. We'll just sneak past the corner guard.
So we saw this in the 4th end. Both teams were getting caught with it running a little straight and a little bit quicker than going the other way. So I wonder if they'll be using their knowledge to just finesse onto going to the home end.
Yeah, one thing I always wonder, and I'm sure you guys know just as well, is later on in the games, a lot of teams talk about that slide path and maybe it fudging up a little bit. When do you guys tend to notice that starting to happen?
Probably the fifth end, if not this end right now, here in the sixth. That ice is starting to change a little bit, and you do have to adapt with the ice changing. Otherwise, it'll catch you for sure.
It also all depends in where you're playing. Like, you go somewhere like the Saville, and their ice holds up a little bit better than, say, here in Leduc. I find here in Leduc that the slide path really starts wearing down around the 6th or 7th end. So when our team plays here, we just keep a note, and the 5th, 6th, 7th end, our team comes together and just talks about it, and we're always talking about the different ice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to remember that each team does start with that 9-minute pregame practice. So there's a lot of rocks being thrown there, plus during the game as well. So that is something to be mindful there, as well as an unfortunate miss there by Team Yurko, as it does spill the Yellowstone in top 4 buried, as they are sitting 1, and it is close to see if they're sitting 2nd or 3rd shot. But a big opportunity here for Team Desormeau as they look to build off this miss here.
Without a doubt.
I'm Yurko, though. I'm not worried just yet. All those rocks in front of the house are their own color, so they do have stuff to run back. They just have to be careful. They have to be careful that Abby's not going to set up too well within the house. But being Team Desormeau, I'm sure they're happy to have some cover to hide behind as well.
And it looks like this one is coming in really nice here. Really good late finish, as they will sit top 4. And it looks like Team Desormeau is sitting 2, maybe 3. It's hard to tell who is sitting 3rd shot, but nonetheless, Team Desormeau sitting at least 2, both behind 2 red center guards, as we do see a timeout here being called by Team Yurko, and that is Coach Glenn Eckman.
I think he's probably going to start telling him, you got to get rid of some rocks here. You are up 3 in the 6th.
I really like seeing the thrower come down for the enhanced coaching. It allows her to explain to the sweepers as well, who usually are not a part of that coaching interaction, what's the plan and what's going on, especially because your sweeper some of your most important players during a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look like they're calling for the intern. Can't tell if they're trying to go through the port or if they're trying to play the run back on that left right here.
I think they're trying to run back. Close.
So they do miss the 2 stones in the forefoot, but sorry to cut you off there, but they do end up getting rid of the other yellow. So still not a bad shot. However, those 2 yellows are still behind cover, and Team Desormeau can draw in to sit a potential 3rd point here.
Yeah, it's not super ideal, as having that rock behind the T line can also help Abby's team. But you know what? It's a yellow out of play, and as we talked about earlier, Alena's trying to keep it a little more open and keep Abby to catching up. So any yellow out of play is a good yellow or a good shot.
It does look like this one ran a little bit hot and does chap off. So Team Desormeau is still sitting 2, it looks like. But it does open the door here for Team Yurko if they want to hit off that side yellow. But it looks like they're going to opt for the run back on the center red.
I really like it because even if you straight peel, you're opening up that center line and giving yourself more shots. It looks like it's going to overcurl on them again. It's still a really good shot.
Opens it up a bit.
Yeah, that's still a really good shot. As we see here on the replay. Big set there by Team Yurko. It does overcurl slightly at the end. However, they do get rid of one of the yellows. So it looks a little bit better if you're Team Yurko. However, that guard is still sitting on the center line, meaning that Team Desormeau can play the draw again behind and sit two.
I do want to give a shout out to the ice makers here at Leduc Curling Club. As we're watching, we can see there's a lot of movement and really good speed, which makes for a great game to watch and a great game to commentate.
And a shout out to the Leduc Curling Club and just in general too. They have been a great host this past week, and I definitely very much enjoyed playing here. Definitely being it's my home club, so a little bit biased, but still, I think everybody has very much enjoyed their time here at Provincials in Leduc.
So we see there, Team Desormeau Stone does go a little bit deep. They are sitting two, however, it does give an out for Team Yurko to come down and freeze on that back yellow and shot stone.
Yeah, just coming that little bit heavy kind of opens the door for Yurko here to prevent a big score. Which in her case is a good thing because she wants to keep that lead, especially going into the later ends.
Absolutely. As we see the intern freeze attempt work out beautifully. They do tap that stone maybe half a foot, but it is a really good shot there and a great pressure shot from Team Yurko as we do see a timeout being called here by Glenn Kennedy. So Glenn Kennedy will be talking to Team Desormeau here as they have 2 stones remaining, and they do have the hammer here playing the yellow stones in the 6th end.
While we're waiting for the timeout, I'd like to give another update on the men's draw. Is a blank and 6 to leave Lushak still leading 4-2.
I think they have agreed, or Glenn has talked with Abby, possibly the in-off?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I was looking. Oops, sorry. Yeah,
Sorry.
I was looking at the updates, so I didn't quite catch the call.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the in-off.
Yeah, it looks like they're playing the out turn into that top red, the leftmost red as we see here on the left side of the screen. Looks like it is needing to curl up a little bit.
Oh, nice shot.
They actually end up hitting off their own yellow, so not the planned call, but nonetheless, Team Desormeau are sitting free with 1 stone left for each team here in the 6th end of play.
It was a good shot from Abby Desormeau. Now, Rhett, if you're or Steven, if you're Yurko, what would you do here?
Yeah, so there's no easy hit on any of the yellows right now if you're Team Yurko. So you're most likely going to be playing some sort of draw, maybe a draw tap to try to let your shooter create a jam possibility. I most likely would be trying to freeze onto that yellow right in the middle of the T line as we see. And if you end up tapping it a little bit too, it's not the end of the world because it will be a hard stone to remove if you're Team Desormeau.
Yeah, I really like drawing in there as well. It kind of cuts down that scoring area and makes Desormeau work for their points. And even if you come up a little bit light, you're still kind of in the way, but thinking your tolerance is heavy here because you can chop off. You're trying to cut down the scoring area for the Desormeau team.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. As we see the final stone for Team Yurko here in the 6N, looks like they are playing the intern draw. Maybe the intern little tap is okay too. They do have lots of options here, like you mentioned. Looks like this rock is coming in with really good weight. Does need to curl a little bit here. And looks like they're going to make...
Wow. That's a really good shot by Alena. So Desormeau discussing her options here. Just a back four, eh?
Well, with that little chap off, they have room to kind of pop it out there and could potentially score 3 or 4 here. The thing is they have to watch the weight here. You don't want to overthrow this. We've seen lots in this line. Kind of stay out there and stay straight and not curl up when they bring up the weight. So she's probably going to have a good talk with her sweepers. And
sounds like she's changing the weight call a bit.
just confirming some last minute stuff with her third.
Final stone here in the 6th from Abby Desormeau. What a curl.
Gonna jumped it a little too early. It's gonna stay out there, but there it comes.
That'll be a steal of 1 in the 6th
for Team Yurko.
For Team Yurko, and that'll lead them 6-2 after 6.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Welcome back to the 7th end at the U18 Optimist Provincial Championship here in Leduc, Alberta.
And we're coming into the 7th end here. Desormeau down by 4, hoping to generate some points.
Definitely crucial to get at least 2 here. The 3 points would be really nice to keep them alive.
You want to make sure you're scoring multiple here, so you're going to go all out for... Go all out for your 2. It looks like it's going to come a little hot.
So with that stone running a little bit hot there and being behind the T line, where do you think that stone should have been placed rather than being backed out?
Well, you want to make sure you're placing that stone at least above the T line. Anything behind is going to help Desormeau. With more rocks in play, it's going to help Desormeau have a better chance of scoring a bigger end. So they really had to make sure that, if anything, they were light or at least above the T line.
So it does look like they do have 2 corner guards. However, they are pretty close together, so it might be an easy double peel opportunity for Team Yurko later on in this end.
Red Rock's just hanging out a little more than they would have expected.
Really hanging out there.
And they will push that yellow stone, and it does look like it will be pushed into the house, into the 12-foot. So it is still Team Yurko sitting the 2. However, a little gift there by Team Yurko to push the Team Desormeau corner guard into the house of play.
Sweeping early. I feel like it's just going to hang up there. Might have killed the line on this one. Oh, coming back.
Get the roll over.
Really nice shot.
Really good shot.
Rolling, keeping at the T line there.
Yeah, that's a really good team shot there. Those kind of shots are really tough. Needs to be a lot of communication from the thrower to the sweepers and then the line caller in the house, and they executed that to perfection there. So it does look like they're going to be attempting the run back off of their red and try to catch one of the yellows in the house in the process. And it looks like they will, and they will
Really
make
nice
that run
shot
back perfectly. Great shot there. And
I
just
really
like
liked
that,
the
Miracle. Oh, sorry.
I really liked I really liked the call there, because even if you're a little wide, little inside, you rip the guard and it gives less for Team Desormeau to hide behind. But as you've seen, she made it. They're sitting 1-2, I believe, and putting the pressure back onto Desormeau to make a good one.
Yeah, I was just going to say exact same thing as you, where there was a little bit of wiggle room of how to hit that red. They could have been a little bit inside, a little bit wide, and had rolled their shooter off, but they made that absolutely perfect. And they are sitting 2 with Team Desormeau's shot. Looks like it's coming up a little bit light, and it does appear that Team Yurko is still sitting 2 here in the 7th end of play.
We've seen a couple come up light here, so that slide path might be coming into play.
Yeah, absolutely. So you see the outturn draw attempt here, and it looks like they are going to be drawing rather than hitting. And for some teams, that might be their strategy. And I know for some teams, maybe the best defense is to stay on the offense. And appears to be the case here for Team Yurko, already sitting 2. So that draw attempt, a bit heavy there. So it is still Team Yurko sitting 2. However, it looks like Team Desormeau does have an opportunity to wrap around their top 12 stone and sit shot rock behind buried. So it looks like they do over curl and tap their yellow into the far side of the 12 foot. So Team Yurko still sitting 2. However, that yellow is hard to remove as there are jam potentials on the back 12 stone and on the side red stone.
Really like this call by Alena. You're sitting shot 1 and 2 ends. You take out this yellow and you get control of the control zone again. We get a little bit of overcurl and a roll.
It's not a bad shot.
Opens the door a little bit for Team Desormeau to come down to the red on the wing.
Yeah, so just you guys' insights here. So seems like they've been playing this out-turn draw a lot in the end. Is that something to keep in mind of, especially rock after rock going down the exact same path?
Yeah, so coming down the exact same path, you want to watch out because as more rocks come down and more sweepers are sweeping that same path, it's going to quicken up a little bit. Also, being a later end, they do have to watch because, like I said earlier, the slide path might start. But each shot coming down here, they're going to learn more and more.
Yeah, so it does look like that yellow does just come up short, but they are sitting second stone. So it is Team Yurko sitting shot stone just above the tee line in the 8 foot. And Team Desormeau is sitting second shot, as we do have a timeout here called by Coach Glenn Ector. So what would you guys be playing here?
I really like what they're talking about coming around to that wing, the 8 foot on the other side there, because what that does is that you're splitting the house and you're forcing Desormeau to play a hit or play something to try and keep her 2 alive. Either or, you're keeping that force in play.
Yeah, I have to agree with Rhett.
We do see the in-turn draw attempt here for Team Yurko, looking to split the house, sit 2 and not leave an easy double opportunity for Team Desormeau here.
Another update from the men's draw after 7 ends, another blank, keeping the score 4-2, and Lushak has the hammer. So the Hennings team is trying to steal 2 to stay alive or 3 to win the game. So doing my update, I missed what happened. Just a little heavy on the draw to the other 8 foot.
Yeah, so it looks like they did go all the way to the back 12 foot there. So it is still Team Yurko sitting shot stone. That red stone isn't easy to remove, however, so they do need a good setup shot here if you're Abby Desormeau. And sorry to jump in on your update there. It does appear that Team Hennig did get forced to one in the seventh end, so it is Team Kalushak who does have the hammer up one, going to the final end of play there. We see the out-turn draw here by Abby Desormeau. Looks like she was trying to play the tap on the yellow, and she will come up just a little bit late. However, she does roll in a really good spot, and it does appear that they are sitting shot stone right now, half buried behind that red corner guard.
Definitely gives Desormeau a couple options here as to what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Pivotal here for Team Yurko to not leave any sort of double for a multiple score here. If you're Team Yurko here, I think the worst or the best of the worst here is giving up a two score here. I think giving up a free isn't the best if you're Team Yurko, but giving up a two, even though it might not be ideal, isn't the end of the world because you will still be up two with the up two with the hammer coming home. It does look like Team Yurko is going to be playing the chase on shot stone. Looks like they're going to be playing about maybe half weight, and that's probably about as much weight as you need, as you're not really moving that stone too far out of the way. And they will remove the yellow, however, they will jam into that back red with the yellow spilling out. So it is Team Desormeau sitting 1 and 3, it looks like. So it looks like it'll be an open hit on the back edge of the 8 redstone there for potential 3.
Good timeout call for Glenn Kennedy. Kind of ease the nerves a little bit. Make sure you're not racing to try to hit this. You definitely want to make sure that you make this shot.
Goes to show that the enhanced my apologies. It goes to show that the enhanced coaching isn't there just for telling their players what shots to call, but also the little reminders. There's a lot of little things when you're making a shot that the coaches can remind you to take that extra second, take that deep breath, and it's another benefit of our enhanced coaching here in Alberta.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely know, like, you're about to score a big end, and the tendency is to overthrow a stone because you are hyped up on energy. So great time out there by Team Desormeau, as it looks like that stone will remove the red. It's depending on where that yellow will roll. And it does look like they did sit around in time. From the overhead, it does look like Desormeau did score 3. However, their teams are going to take their time to make sure what the actual score of the end is there. Nonetheless, a great shot there to stick around from Team Desormeau. And we'll just wait here on the confirmation of the score here. And it does appear that Team Desormeau did score 3. So the score will be 6-5. Yurko will have the hammer up 1 going to the final end of play.
I don't remember a time. when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
So you're a pizza person, but you're married to a wing person, and your kids are salad people? You can't pick your fam, but with over 50 menu items to choose from, you can make them all happy. Order today and enjoy Boston pizza at home.
Welcome back to the 2025 Alberta Optimist Under-18 Provincial Championships held at the Leduc Curling Club in Leduc, Alberta. My name is Stephen Leong, and I'm joined this afternoon by Rhett Mallioux and Caleb Hofstra. So, guys, it looks like Team Desormeau got a little bit of their step back, scoring a big 3. And it is only a 1-point game now. If you're Team Yurko, still have the lead. You're up 1. You do have the hammer. But what is your mindset going into the 8th end, especially after giving up a 3 that seemed like it just came out of nowhere?
It's definitely a bit of a momentum shift for sure. You now see that Desormeau has a bit of, confidence going into the last 2 ends. So as for Yurko, you're definitely going to want to probably try to peel those guards as soon as you can. Keep that 4-foot area clean, so that way you have a nice, easy draw for your last to make sure that you don't give up a point.
Yes, you're up 1 with hammer, so you have a massive advantage. So you're going to want to keep this end simple and not get into too much trouble. Try and keep it clean so you can have a nice draw to the 4-foot or an easy hit to keep or to win the game.
So it does look like that guard attempt will slide a little bit deep. They do, however, have 2 guards off in play, which is what Team Desormeau is looking for. Would you guys ever be tempted, because both of those Yellowstones are off the center line, to maybe try playing tick shot?
You definitely could. It wouldn't hurt to try it. If you spill your own out, that's not bad. You just want to make sure you don't get rid of that one. This is also a good call by Alena. You're blocking that 4-foot and, securing yourself a little bit.
I think after this stone, we're going to start seeing some peels, so she wants to take advantage of that 4-foot area, but she also, once she can, is going to want to clean up the front.
Early timeout call.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a surprising timeout, being that it is this early in the 8th and final end here. But maybe Coach Glenn Kennedy saw something that Abby Desormeau maybe didn't see. So Coach Glenn Kennedy is putting his 2 cents in.
I am curious how much time both teams have left. Of course, these are timed games.
Yeah, absolutely. Reminder that both teams do start off with 34 minutes of thinking time, meaning that the clock will stop when the thrower delivers a stone past the tee line. However, new with the coach interactions, the clocks will not stop during the timeout.
Looks like this one's going to move a little bit on them.
Looks like it was a little down.
Oh, that one does over curl, so it is still Team Yurko 2. And they're trying to figure out what shot to play. There isn't an easy shot to get in right now, as both the out-turn and in-turn draw are blocked off towards the center. So it looks like they're going to be playing an in-turn cross center line onto the right side of the sheet, as we see.
See, I think if I'm Yurko here, I would rather start getting rid of some guards because you want to prevent Desormeau from scoring. And the more rocks in play, the more chance they have to score. Nonetheless, a really good placement for that redstone. Right where the skip called.
Yeah, so it is Team Yurko sitting with 3 right now, but it does look like Team Desormeau is going to be playing an out-turn hit on that top 8 stone and try to roll behind the corner guard that they do have on the right side of the sheet there, as we see. This out-turn looks like it is hanging a little bit right now, needing the curl to get off that corner guard in a hurry, and it will not. It will clip the yellow, and it will actually go into the other corner yellow and spin, just biting into the top 12 foot. But it is still Team Yurko sitting 3 here, and they do have the hammer up by 1.
I was a little surprised at that call because they were throwing a good amount of weight. I would think you'd almost want to throw a lower weight to try to keep the red in play as a catcher, as, like I've been saying, they're trying to score one, if not multiple, this end. And rocks behind the tee line are almost your friend in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm even surprised a little bit on the turn that they chose. It looked like the in-turn might have been the call. It looked like there's a little bit more room to work with there. With that O-turn, they would have had to throw a lot more weight there, and that's what they did, and that's why it did wreck on the yellow. As we do see the Team Yurko stone come in, they'll chop off that top 8 stone and roll into the open. So it's Team Yurko sitting 4 here, with 4 stones each to go for each team. So it looks like we're going to get the double attempt here for Team Desormeau. And they are going to be playing the out-turn here. Those look like they are knifing it to make a curl here and try to catch that pocket there. And it looks like they will make the double successfully, and they will get rid of 2 stones. However, their shooter is still wide open, sitting in the 8-foot shot stone right now.
We do have a final over on the men's draw. We're going to have Team Leduc going at it as Alberta 1 and Team Henning as Alberta 2, as the Leduc scored 1 to make it 6-3 in the last end.
Congratulations to both of those teams, as they definitely earned their spot.
Really nice shot there to sit 1, 2, 3 and buried.
Yeah, that's a great shot there. Really putting on the pressure here for Team Desormeau. It's getting late in the end, and they don't have too much to work with here, as that area is pretty small to get their yellow in.
Team Yurko does still have to watch out, because if Desormeau can get a draw here, it's going to be hard to beat them to the button and outscore them.
The intern attempt here from Team Desormeau. It looks like it's running a little bit warm right now and not curling as much as they hoped. Team Yurko is on the stone, and the yellow will come to rest, back 8. Sitting shot stone, corner frozen on that red.
That's not a bad shot. I mean, you are sitting shot right now. Probably would have preferred to have landed a top 4, whereas Yurko can now take advantage of that and freeze to it.
It's a spot that's been catching both teams all game. Rocks have been hanging out, and even this rock coming down now have been hanging out. It's been a little quick as everyone's overthrown down this path.
And that rock will sail right through the house. So big opportunity here on Abby Desormeau's first stone here in the 8th end. They can place one top 4, maybe just fighting top 4, corner buried behind that top 8 red zone. I think you're looking pretty good here for steal of 1.
Lighter is always better at this situation as well. You know, you don't want to slide too deep and allow Alena a chance to freeze on top of it. So if anything, if I was them, you know, even top 12 or a tight guard is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. It's knowing those pro side misses, as we call them. Knowing the tolerance on the throw. And like you had mentioned there, anything light here is useful for Team Desormeau. Here, looking to steal 1, force the extra hint.
Sweepers are on it for weight and line here. Like Caleb said, a little light isn't the end of the world. Guards are going to help Team Desormeau here. But it does give the Yurko team a chance to bury a good one in here and make the last shot for Abby a hard one.
Yeah, I like this call here. I think at this point it's way too late to get rid of those guards in front, as Team Desormeau will always have a shot to get behind the cluster in front. So I like this shot here by Alena, trying to beat Team Desormeau behind, trying to grab maybe a piece of the button here. The sweepers are on this early, and they just backed off at the hog line now, as it looks like it does need to curl up a little bit. The weight doesn't seem too far off, though, as now they're trying to knife it over and try to get that rock to finish a little bit more behind that center yellow. And it does look like they will get half buried behind that yellow. It's a great team shot there by Team Yurko, as they are sitting 1 here with the hammer. Team Desormeau with 1 more stone to go, looking to steal in the 8th end here and force the extra in the provincial final.
Keeping it real nice and close for our fans that are watching. Of course, thank you everyone for your support coming out, watching the curling that's been happening. And if you have been at home watching online, thank you very much for all the support towards the youth profession of curling. What are you thinking of doing, Rhett or Steven, if you're Desormeau here?
I'd almost be tempted to try to play sort of like a back 8, maybe back 12 weight on that red. We've seen the ice all throughout the game. It does curl very hard hogline in. So even though it might not look pretty from the hack, I do think with the late finish that we do have here that we'll be able to get 2 nose and push that stone past that back yellow.
Kind of with you as well. If you look at risk reward, even if you miss a little bit with that backline weight that we were talking about, you still might sit for 1 and have a chance to go to an extra. With this run back, it's a make it or nothing type of shot.
This is the final stone for Team Abby Desormeau here, needing to make this run back and force Alena Yurko to make her final shot. And the
Oh.
run back will just miss the top four red, so Alena Yurko will not need to throw her final stone, and it will be a count of 1 for Team Alena Yurko as they are your 2025 Alberta Optimist Under-18 Provincial Championships. So they will go on to represent Alberta #1 at the Under-18 Nationals. And for Team Abby Desormeau, they will be representing Alberta #2 at the Under-18 Championships as well. And that championships will be held in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan at the Nutana Curling Club from February 16th to 22nd. Final thoughts on this game, you guys?
It was a close one. There wasn't one team going way ahead or in any end, so it was a really good final game to watch.
Yeah, this is definitely, these two teams deserve to be going to nationals. Just their playing strategy and the play that they did out there today. Congratulations to the both of them, and congratulations to the men's side as well. They're definitely going to represent our province well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a reminder to everyone watching that the final ceremonies will not be streamed, as they will be happening inside the lobby at the Leduc Curling Club here. So thank you to all our viewers for joining us, not only for this final draw, but all throughout the week here on Curling Zone. My name is Stephen Leong, and I've been joined this afternoon by Rhett Mallioux and Caleb Hofstra. Thank you again for watching, and take care of yourselves.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
So you're a pizza person, but you're married to a wing person, and your kids are salad people? You can't pick your fam, but with over 50 menu items to choose from, you can make them all happy. Order today and enjoy Boston pizza at home.
Curling Alberta's 50-50 supports grassroots curling with a jackpot of at least $100,000. I know! Brace yourself. Join us aged 18 plus in nurturing these future curling stars. Support grassroots curling with Curling Alberta.